Obviously, social media is a big part of our marketing, and so just having great photography. We hired like a professional food and beverage photographer named Christian Harder. Having great photography is like a huge part of marketing for a bar or a restaurant, because you want to showcase the space and the food and the beverage. Collabs and partnerships are also a big part of that, particularly with social media. So like, for instance, we recently did we're doing a brunch collab with he's actually the chef who consulted on our menu here, but he has a sandwich shop called Tiny Sandwich. And so he's doing like egg sandwiches here on the weekends, and we do like a little like co-marketed collab with him through social media. A bar or restaurant in New York City, and you're able to tell the story. You don't necessarily need to pay for advertising in the beginning because people are excited about it. And social media has sort of replaced traditional advertising in a way. So we definitely have invited some influencers in, which is a big thing here in New York. Like we'll invite influencers in for like a comped meal and free drinks, and in return they'll post about us. So that's been a part of our marketing campaign as well, because it's a walking neighborhood, and like particularly on Fulton Street where there's no cars. So there's a ton of these like A-frames everywhere, because you can just kind of plop them around, and it's like a public street. And I literally was just like sitting down in front of the thing like with a piece of chalk, like thinking about like what I should write on it, and just kind of hit me like, bring this sign back to the bar and you get a free drink. And we have gotten so many regulars already through the sign. Just people in the neighborhood find it and bring it back, and we got one over here. End up coming back again and again. And usually, when people bring the sign back, they're with at least one other person, if not, a group of people. And so we end up selling, it ends up paying for itself even on the first bring back. So it's sort of like free marketing in that part. And then we usually photograph people who come in and post that on social media, so it helps build our social media as well. The thing about marketing, particularly, I think it's probably true for any industry, but I can only speak to food and beverage and restaurant and bar marketing, it requires constant maintenance. You can't just expect one great press piece to last longer than a month in today's day and age, where everything changes so quickly, and there's so many openings and so much media to consume, that it's like you constantly have to be kind of manicuring your marketing strategy for it to work, because you have to keep up with the onslaught of media that everybody consumes on a daily basis. And you always have to come up with fresh ideas and fresh ways of like telling your story for bringing people into whatever you're marketing. Like for instance, recently we had a great press piece where a famous actor, Jude Law, did a photo shoot here for the Washington Post. Washington Post did a style shoot. They scouted the restaurant, or they scouted Quick Eternity as a location for their shoot, and like we set up a photo shoot with an A-list celebrity, and it was awesome. Like for 2 weeks, like everybody in the neighborhood would came by, like, hey, I saw that article, or like we posted it, or they saw it on their own, and like it created a lot of excitement. But like that only lasts a very short amount of time. So it's just like you have to constantly be kind of feeding feeding
Yeah.
the machine, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, if you hire a marketing agency or like a PR company to like I got a bunch of quotes, right, from different marketing agencies, and like marketing a small brand takes just as much effort as marketing a large brand, or like not a comparable amount to the cost, right? Because it requires the same amount of like, you have to write the story, you have to, you know, reach out to media, like it requires the same amount of like literally physical hours of people working on it to tell the story and get the word out there. Because it costs me the same amount to hire a PR company than it does a 500 seat restaurant in Midtown.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're gonna give me like roughly the same amount of like
The price isn't gonna change.
The price isn't gonna change that much because the work is the same.
Okay.
Telling the story,
Yeah.
telling a brand story is the same amount of work. It doesn't matter the size of the brand, right? Even if I was the most popular bar in New York and people were like lining up the door, you know, every night to get in here, I couldn't make that much money because I don't have 600 seats, you know?
Yeah.
So
it kind of limits you.
yeah, it limits you
Yeah.
as a small business, you know? And like me as an owner, like I basically have become like the marketing director, the general manager, the, you know, the head bartender, you know, like I'm like all the above, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of
Yeah.
work, and it's my first, you know, I would never recommend open. No, I'm just kidding. If you feel like it's your dream, you know, do whatever you want to do. But it's very difficult opening a restaurant or bar, a small restaurant or bar in New York City. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fucking fun. But you know, it's you know, you're not gonna become a millionaire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stick to marketing.
Overnight.
Stick to marketing for bigger brands is what I'm trying to say.